Yes, greeting to the viewers. Welcome back to the Midnight Show. Be it tonight Midnight Show, we will manage a wala jintiko. IEC de ibe la final registration on the supplementary voters registration on about populace la shortly. But one plan B yenti. Sulanding Kunjaro will elaborate later on. Flanyango. Sulanding Kunjaro Adama Barrow Mansakunda. I question on Yininga to the general public. Dalili Jumalatina Adama Barrow la Mansakunda. Walla Adama Barrow as the president. Among any statement bondi regarding the Senegalese ka GAMBIA invade Nyameng. Muneba koma. Dalili Jumala fana ba koma Senegal GAMBIA invade Dalido menna. Albo fana bo kono fana fanundilale tonight midnight. So for your information, Dolmo messenger drone at messenger. Albina mo lago deke Sulanding Kunjaro mem publicate no pertaining to sana manjang ala murder case. Sanala murder case charges was dropped. Tali Jumalat na dropped. Aram Barrow Mansakunda are they capable to give amnesty to Yaya Jammeh? Bokono fanundilale domande. So, more information on the Sulanding Kunjaro Taman to men Sotnam from Marina Parade, Adi Gamenola, Purukana, Kadomandin Satalejiba. Janemo Kaladro. As usual, Sulanding Kunjaro information of not everything pertaining to, especially pertaining to IEC. But at the later part of the show, I cannot find it. And I don't need, Sulanding Kunjaro but I don't need any validation from anybody, but a public servant, patriotic citizen. So, Janimbe Okela Drum, Jalibala ni Yamaro, Nyanta o Lamala Domandindro and Dandang, Lafita. Tabado mandine sabala janote wala na hata second nyeminga lamo jalibala yamarola monemu yamarode jalibala nyin track wala content malong nka mesos nyadi le but nyimo responsibility for each and every citizen in that country. So NSGWPA benefit back Jalibala and Kumola. So Alila Moyin na follow Janisla Vila jalon natale kotenke ya maro wallahi alay darge amantulu kanyan jongo abena sumanga nina mutonyati alay ndale among Kanyang and the Kanyan and Nangaman. I don't need any distraction here. So, Ale Moludale, among Kanyang, in Kumo is Sahih, Ghanina Tanina Taline Arabic School. Student on Nin and Gebafren, that is Sahih. Akumoni Asabadita. Messages and greetings. So, let's go back to the topic. Very terrible. It's too hot. So, Janimbo Kiradron, Alangamuru Mata Sulanding Kunjaro Kibaro Membondina. Bring Jaliba and Dandansila Futaratuma Menadron. Some Menka Walling Muru Sulanding Kunjaro la Kibari, Kendall Kana Mendi Gambadinola. Purubanku din Kendall be mentala ke benefitala. Sulanding Kunjaro be wakila wala inshallah. So, Sulanding Kunjaro Kibaro mentana wala nyintiko. Yo, Mr. Drame in Embara. Sulanding Kunjaro Kibaro menfidina wala nyintiki kibar follow. Dalili Jumalatina, Adama Barrow la Mansa Kunda, wala Adama Barrow as the president. Among any statement, public statement in Bondi, pertaining to Senegal, la Gambia invade regional men. Muna Adama Barrow as a president, among some naka any statement in Bondi. Sulanding Kunjaro information on Mengada wala nyentiko. Nale Gambia la security la ya restructure nyameng, especially within Adama Barrow Masakunda nata. The Gambia entire security la ammunitions and a chabo of the Senegal level. And in the Senegalese, Senegal three different interests you will build in the Gambia. Elaborate lale the reason why the Senegal attempt to invade the Gambia. Elaborate at the later part of the show. But Dalil Jumalatin, Adama Barrow la Manzakunda as Adama Barrow as the president, among any official statement body regarding the Senegalese government, while the Senegal military la Gambia la invasion into our territory in the Gambia. Dalil follow. Adama Barrow la Masakunda na la moli Adama Barrow advisement na wala nyendiko. He does not need to make any statement for whatever reason based known to Adama Barrow. But dalilo me adna Adama Barrow la Masakunda imanson ka any statement bondi wala ka any bold statement yinta toward Senegal la Gambia invasion on wala nyindi number one. Adama Barrow la Mansakunda, the Gambia military la entire ammunitions, ila key abe Senegal soldier level. The Senegalese soldiers are entirely, controlling the Gambian military, that both armories and every other, defensive weapons. Mealango Gambia army solinyanta ole tala in case of external attack. Nyante fan defend lamena obebe controlling Senegal la military level. Adama Barrow la security, ala entire securities, near jibe. Adama Barrow la safety, even ala sokononita taji in Manka Mankunda, molmin ke search, molmin ke allow to see the president. The entire security, both State House and the Adama Barrow villages are totally in control of the Senegalese. Are in total control of the Senegalese. And then the second one, the most interesting part of Adama Barrow's silence. During the Tobaskila periods, Gambia Kurankuja male face. Kurangaling nawekila problem me alonga arise. So many people in our communities are complaining about Nawek. And Adama Barrow na any emergency trip in London or program of Fanake Senegal. And in Senegal la Mansakunda na see because Senegal Mansakunda la Biri Gambia Adam Barrow Masakunda Falenda for the previous years. The car power and in the Senegal Masakunda Levenum Kurangodi Kanum Gambia for Gambia na Jurujama Basro in Senegal tema. So Senegal na la Kurang in court just most recently. Wale na kuram problem ba kata wani nati Gambia kono especially in Tobaski la wato la period ni and then the naweke generator membiji ala capacities and ala current status amanya na operate la maximum of 12 hours and wale ka most of the greater Banjul areas and some other places in your supply they don't have that capacity. So ana barola masakuna na emergency trip ni with kadaka diam Senegalese sole the previous debt Senegal la previous debt member Gambia government la iba negotiate no la nyadi le kajo and then Senegal nyanta Gambia supply no la kurang la nyadi le since another debt me along ko be Gambia ning car power tema the Turkish company we go debt sol new solve no nyadi but as of now election yambe ole kono and then Gambians are fastly approaching in December election. So Gambia nyanta kurang sotolale at the best of their abilities. So when nyanta kala Adam Barrow nyanta strategy use la as a campaign tool because nearly in provincial electrification of GB, even baking in provincial town and village do kurang nyanta malala subtly or during the presidential campaign ni Adam Barrow presidential campaign yo kumase but currently, Gambia is facing a very terrible electricity problem. So, determined condition, Adama Barrow menta ya bill with the Senegal to supply Gambia. Hanisa in Senegal mang imam beng can't follow. Gambia government mang kodisho de Senegal la debt ni njola men na membela no. And then they are planning to Senegalese supply pour Gambia bebe malala time when the Adama Barrow Masakunda campaign you start up may use la especially in a provincial town and the village la katani la go na Masakunda be do ko laja sa la crown fele bebe malala. So for that being the reasons, Adama Barrow as the president he was unable to make any official statement regarding to Senegalese Gambia la territorial invade Dalilomen. Some close associates Yajeko, Adama Barrow Benjamin to be based on the pending contracts member in Senegal team and in Gambia the difficulty face concern and in some IEC manipulative tactical mantra working as the plan, most likely Nyinemu Adama Barrow la tactical to deliberately allow the Senegalese to provoke the Gambian militaries Kajeko if tension create. The Senegalese soldiers will just handpick Adama Barrow and the family because he will protect them instead of the Gambians, case Samba, and then they let the Gambian militaries take over the country. This is one of the Adama Barrow plans. See if things didn't work well as planned. Omoro Sonko in Bissau, the same thing happened in Gambia. But now, this is the most important part in Wolanyendigo. The reason why Adama Barrow was unable to make any official statement as the president of the Gambia, Katandi Senegal Masakundala Ko, ila militarily Gambia territory, Yegeleta ka invade for whatsoever reasons. The reason of Mealonko Senegal Gambia Fana invade, there are two key points. Mealonko economically, Mealonko Gambia la location of a damento, and in the Senegalese interest men build, and the most interesting part of the Senegal invasion area men, Gambia la natural resources. Let me elaborate la Lomanding. So this is the Gambia. Now, current situation of it on the Adama Barrow government. So, Adama Barrow is building his interest in part, a la personal interest. Senegal will supply Gambia electricity well before the presidential election because I rural electrification on Yinege and will be in Tamala campaign because Adama Barrow NPP believe co. The rural areas, NPP talent. To them, This is the strategy and the Senegal nyante supply la Quran. So pro Adama Barrow asked the president to make any statement pertaining to the Senegalese government where is tantamount to Adama Barrow la downfall. Well, Adama Barrow asked the president ama any official statement nyimboni not to debunk or to tandi Senegalese la ko. Gambia la territory, Senegal ma any right ni soto. Ka Gambia invade. Nyenemu information nga mesela nasa. So, Sulanding Kunjaro information mengada within the Gambia na intelligence units pertaining to the and the other international intels within the Gambia. Many ananku a lot of interest bill pertaining to the Gambia natural resources me ananku abe banko kono. Senegal had two different interests, economical interest. I mean, Senegal and Gambia control in both ways. The number one interest in Bill Gambia well in Nabati. Senegal are in total control of the Gambia bar. Niajibe the 90% of the revenue makers of the Gambia bar gonna be they are almost 70% of them are in total control of the Senegalese. Nali olo alin na nye mutalali jibe kulungul mene yalo kwe kata bali kono 90% of the Gambia Senegal government le are be produce. Even there are Senegalese in the Gambia, Senegal masa kundale kulungul sanne ye dina Senegalese la Gambia ika operate wole ka kulungul ika nyeli men mutaji ikebe bonde jande ye murundi Senegal. So Senegal economically, Senegal got Gambia la bar. They are in total control of our Nabalo, the Marines. Gambia don't even have enough equipment for our marine soldier to do the night patrols. Gambia on the marine soldier like patrol monela. Well, in Adama Barrow la criminal or many along Kebela, cocaine only la local bonin and Guinea-Bissau, ke samana wal na marine many along Kebe Gambia Port Authority la area in Banjul, Monlebi many along wal like all Margoy. Hard drug sold transport. Well, they don't have any other means to protect the Gambia territorial integrity, especially ni nata na banyin kono. Kada ni Senegal la ba every country ya la ba la nane sort of ba kono le. So Senegal are in total control of the resources in the Gambia la ba kono. So the most important part of the Gambia Senegalese interest buildamentola. Nali ajibe the British oil company me along kwa Gambia la oil nyinta ya survey and then I locational tandeko whereby ko Gambia la area la bijele me along ko sansol finito damente ya estimate the number of barrel me along ko na trabe sinna jelle nyanda sotlaje. And this is the phase C. Phase C is located in Mindole. Phase C is directly located between the Gambia and Casamasla area in the Melanco. No for an provincial town. Let me check it. Started around Basila Uma Frola. CRRC for CRR and for CRO UR. The British company many along finding about the Gambia oil, so natural resources me Gambia kono. The first C, the most important part of the country, me alongo, British Olia suggest like Atamnico. Sanso me nyanta bola odlaro near Astra Gambia Masakunda ya sinno, they can produce at least millions of barrels daily. Senegal masakuna interested in la naraji beko that phase C me alongo is suspect of Gambia la tulo lebe odlaro a closer Senegal lani area lanyana. So Senegal is interested in a bill to invade that part of the natural resources me alongo detector within the Gambia territory. Kajeko neo enforce nyindundi Senegal be capitalize la wala kan natural resources nyinta kata deliberately. Senegal so Adama Barrow Manzakunda knows this already, but he be silarine to make any public declaration. Kajeko wabig tension ole create like Gambia because the Gambian citizen will protect their natural resources. But no tension on create a silang, and Adama Barola Mansakunda is facing election, the presidential election. Obe Adama Barola Mansakunda cost la. But Adama Barola Mansakunda la current status abe sealing Gambia kolonyadi le banku de ulbeji nyadi le be mune face kang at this time. So ni intentional creator. The citizens are there to protect their natural resources and their territorial integrity because Senegalese only interest men build na natural resources in Kang. So Adam Barrow Mansakunda most likely will be there. But Adam Barrow be face after the life of the presidency. This is the question Adam Barrow be seeing Gambia dingo bela nyanto Kang and office okon. This information is purely credible information within the highest, sensitive part of the Gambia securities, the Intel report, including the Interpols. Many are currently the international, agencies, the secret agents, they are currently in the country. You either take this information seriously or not. But this is one of the most interesting part of the Senegalese solar Gambia invasions. Sulanding Kunjaro in Kibaro di Gambia wala. Nga abu fele jelela. Abu me special program all the day invite to NPPC recognize because you determine very hard to be recognized. And I don't want to recognize. I don't know why. If you later na nyomi tai betinya. Nange safuna second barala nyinkai mom do kolong. So let's move to the second. The Sulanding Kunjaro second revelations. The IEC. Sorry. The IEC. Kibaro nyimfudada. Adama Barona la MPP la ila top brass on the table with the IEC. They received a complaint from the opposition political party, especially the UDP. The irregularities may alonka ketela supplementary voters registration on Sulanding Kunjaro exposed in before. A deliberate action to delete and tamper with the registration, the list, because Sulanding Kunjaro published before. You complain on the term and conditions of these people. The IEC got the actual data of the Gambia supplementary registration. But the funny part of it, the IEC data nearly 300,000, both known and non-existent. Ningo Gambia dingoleko IEC register non-existent vote. Albendi nailale. But this is the reality and it will reflect Ninga menol mekegu. Mina memfola la jawola nyindiko the strategy lemeni use la. The demarcation of the polling station. That's where Adama Barola Mansakundabe, alto opposition political parties all. But it's not in Kunjaro yale hinting lado because the demarcation of the polling stations. And then the IEC la staffs. Probably no for the road ladder. Before the road ladder demanding. So the IEC got the actual data of the supplementary elections, registration of the voters, in combine with the 2021 presidential election on the registration of Mealonka, but there are data. The Gambia problem moments sort of one into the data. If you create a database, Gambia database system will keep no long among corrupt. So there are some data me along tinya table and Adama Barola Mansakuna they provide, they register, especially Adam Barrow Barry New ye maximum Indiana, the IEC registration maximum Indiana, and then the Musa Drame, Ofana registration of Menkani, Sidinja Niala Molu, Niajibe in combine a number of registration of mentayadeda, including non-existent human beings, many along Kejil as Gambians. In that data is nearly 300,000 votes. So IECMM plan wala nyindiko. Yenyim blackmail menkenandenka opposition political party should blackmail with a fake list like men publish no. Naya thara the opposition political party should more detect no. IEC will be able to insert deliberately some of those fake voters registration or 300,000 voters registration many are prepared. Dolby succeed to call insert into the system, but the rest nyanta insert la di nyame munekela no. They claim that there are some duplication on the registration on across the country, but most of this time the opposition political party should a stronghold. So those there are duplication on the duplication on the this current registration on into me along data nyintala I some confusion on another bit within the supplementary registration list. It's funny for. So what duplicated registration on me along IEC be prepare can to deliberately delete some of the names so many are confirmed to the list kajako registered lately. But cyber prepare la monena was so-called duplicated one on eBay. The current list of many types published even a mother koreke dole did in so with the intention of the duplicated one on the ikatai kawalta ke delete. But this is not the reality. Munebe bulokona jansa. The IEC will make sure that the coming publication iba try can to engage the opposition political party kajako munebolu ni olom for pareda. IEC will be determined now with the boldness with another press release a complete list of the voters registration on entire publish near publish pareda. IEC ibaila kusila opposition political party sol the amount bekering and then the revising court issues all bekering. IEC will stand in a better chance to challenge them at the High Court. And this court proceeding the Amtalano a few weeks ago it lasts for 10 days. Because IEC need a suspect a command registered a bundone wala bota phone. But in other realize Magjane manke Gambia noti and IEC be men demand and then the Gambia revising code be men demand na wala nyindiko. Magjane mo foreignality. But I spoke on a mental another address, so we spoke about this last week. I cannot repeat everything. So the Gambia revising code in the IEC must determine to confirm the opposition political party must completely try to identify that individual and address and have a sirinda where they can make sure he's non-Gambians. So we go proceed on the IEC and the revising code and criminal they are preparing to tackle the opposition political parties for these revising code issues. Now for the So, after the revising court, the IEC bina murulanan kotake during shortly before the presidential elections. Gambia labe kujela in December election order, these coming elections. Murana jana kotake ala Sulanding Kunjaro. No, albafala ko Sulanding Kunjaro in Fojane. The non-existing polling stations sang IEC la the next target be kela wallet ko may use in 2021. Kata si mo la bungo kone agento londi fayeje kolomu UDP in quality wala umu PDOS in quality wala umu UMC in quality. Magjane la bungo no sale kelinto in Sulanding wala bundo wala foni kakate keso taka jalong Adama Barrow la boxo kono na eko UDP la agent la nyi sign. Allah make sure every polling station in that country IEC bina mem publicate la well before the presidential election. All the opposition political party alter make sure to identify each and every polling station being mentioned by the IEC. This is one of their targets toward 2021 presidential election. The presiding officers responsible many alongo lebekela ko IEC la staff for the world will lebekela molde many alongo they are purely among the NPP executive members. Some of them will be directly working. Some of them are NPP, purely NPP sympathizers, but in their ghost representing the IEC. So every opposition political party shall albo Bangkoka. Ni IEC listo bondina. The most important thing is Albanko be around. Polling station or many along be Banko Kangi, polling station or many Kelaje. That's where Adama Barrow is going to reach very terribly. These 300,000, the IEC data men produce, wallahi adiatalia quarterly, it will reflect a December poll. Nali make careful. Opposition political. Anyway, but in the further out loud follow. We'll make another special topic later for now. So this is the new strategy IEC the men prepare. They will deliberately publish at least a very similar, normal, me alongo, opposition political party solo also come be engage la sante kajeko. Mum opposition political party soli ye list jumala soto ero le ketamento le IEC be work la that ero le kan ibinela own manipulative tactics soli use la within that list me alam ko ero le soto jani duplication of ketamento. They will deliberately delete some of the authentic list me alam ko publish le follow by inciting all those informations me alam ko abeto block on. So at the end, by the time of or during the presidential election, IEC be transforming the Gambia registered voter solar, especially opposition political party solar stronghold area. It will be amazing. Nalme cheku as a fitno from Bondino Gambia Konala. Magjane register in Bondo wala Foni. Ikonyanda karle file Foni block le. Na register sutusinye konde la police station nye apiata foni block le. Magjane be struggle kana pruka la daily meal nyim provide la family. Ndenga na boje nkongata block le. Ngafota block kwenye ko ila police station na mantra jabes abe ndembane wala be somitale. Do I have that energy by leaving my family behind? Just to travel from one village or from one polling station to another polling station to identify which polling station ko magjaning and lola would like to. This is one of their manipulative tactics experience in coming elections. New monkey. Mba make sure I'm willing to send a siwawa. Mba deal altola, especially the far right extremists, Aliatola and Kalkan Komania, Sulanding Kunjaro, If you are confident with the information that you are speaking, whether it is going to, you will have it 100% or not, but you know exactly this is the tactics that the Adama Barrow and Ala Mafia will be making. Don't worry about the name callings. Speak it. Because the same people will benefit. They will use the same strategy to benefit, especially the political investors. Ale lamo nangal mako ale bankota. Yala ngamena la mema holale. Ntebale mako kane Adama Barrow la mansakunda ya boy saje nteni mbamba masi sita holiday la Gambia because the exile. Ale nkoto bamba masi nyenenka ntenade. Ntensi ngolo la Gambia. Exile. So the third one, I have a very complicated one, but I will not talk about it because now I go Facebook on other people be doing back in it. You man can tell interest. Then you tell leave for GAMBIA, you know. Sanamanjang, the 30 information. Sulanding Kunjaro information on gathered within the Barrow Nalamansa Kundani MPP. Yemen plan prepare. Gambia dingol aliyalong alimalong, even the victims, many alanko, we know that they are part of the victim, even including ya jamela masakunda more men victimized Gambia. And Adama Barola I bankudingol many alanko ye victimoti under Adama Barola government. Nali amela justice libe tamala under Adama Barrow government. Forget about it. Forget about it. The reason Adama Barola Mansakunda, they deliberately dropped the murder charge from the head of the jungle, Alialanko Sana Manjang, based on the TRRC, Molmenialanko, it testified again. Sana Manjang is one of the most brutal killer among the junglers. Sana Manjang was the third president in the Gambia after Solibaji. Solibaji was the co-president to Yaya Jammeh. But Sana Manjang is one of the most wicked soul ever been made during Jamela regime. So the TRRC, the amount of the information on Minnesota pertaining to Sana Manjang involvement as the ring leader, Sanala murder case has been dropped. I dropped it at the Gambia. Adama Barrow, Sidinjai, and Infong Baring, Fabaka Tomonjata la APRC, and in Noto Alliance la APRC. Sidinjai and Fabaka Tomonjata is Sitale ya Sovekiko, Fabaka Tomonjata la APRC motable. But the APRC Noto Alliance, this is the purely APRC la political base will level control in here. Oka reflect like even the National Assembly election hold. Ika candidate men will win. But Fabaka Tomonjara la APRC, they don't even produce even a National Assembly candidate. Combo. So, Sirinja nyolning Adama Barrow na la kroni solicitale la mezoninke kajeko. The number of junglers many among the killers is entirely members of this no to APRC alliance la members, especially in foreign areas. So, as Sana Manjang as the ring leader of the junglers, every junglers but a foreign. But there are people, Jata and Co. I don't want to mention names here, but there are few many testified and they made it very clear to the TRRC co. Tolle Karifa. And these are very prominent members of families are the very prominent member of APRC North Alliance. Community so Fawato Monjara ni Sidinja in tactical strategy le play Katandi Adama Barola ko. Let me check this. The including prosecutor, the prosecutor but doing large and by calling supply, you know. Yes. Good. So Fawaka Tomon Jata Nyoli, ini Adam Barola Masakunda la MPP la top brasuli, inetani Adam Barola ko. They definitely, Adam Barola Masakunda be pretend na nyato coming after justice le time and but don't worry about it. It will never work. Ibemengela wala nyenteko. The example nyimbe Tesla sana manjanda na follow kaja ko the moda case sol meni yalan ko ya landi sana manjankan ani menu ta testify kaja ko fongle mulufa ko moda case nyinta card drop in connection to convince the APRC not to alliance la kaja ko ning Adama Barrow la Masakunda continuator the chief the prosecutor and at the office of at the Justice Department yata ndila le ko tolning chief prosecutor nyin katata to those junglers many affected, especially those in the phonies and the alliance members, not the alliance member la family more many they are affected through this TRRC. Katanila ko tolning Adama Barrow la Masakunda la Justice Department nyin katata le ko ning alliance in Biltano, not alliance lad APRC Fabaka Tombonjata Kanto endorse Adama Barrow la Masakunda. Adama Barrow la Masakunda have the ability by using executive power vested in Adama Barrow, Kajako Yaya Jamme ila supreme leader, Obina Obanko Kane by using Adama Barrow la presidential executive power because they believe going Adama Barrow winter December election or by National Assembly election, the MPP will dominate the National Assembly and Adama Barrow after anything implemented in National Assembly will be implemented without any obstacle from the opposition political party. And therefore, Adama Barrow a power subtly to invest, to use amnesty international to protect the Jamelana and Kasamanam Barrow Bangkok IEC as the ex-president of the Gambia. Ikobe APRC phone called Noto Alliance, ibe nene la nyinela, because wala supreme leader la taro exile, wadalila na Adama Barrow womolo, ulboka katwe fai, Adama Barrow la Masakundai. So, idol nene na wala, inolbe coalition wakela wala, kajeko, the junglers among those people will never be prosecuted, and Sanamanyan Namoda case will be dropped. Most likely, Sanana case in Banda found before the election, and in Banda, Sana will never be go to jail. In Gambia, civil organization will be surprised. And what happens? Adama Barrow will use his executive power and our National Assembly to protect with Amnesty International in order to have the vote from the foreign cars. Nyinamu, the secret information on the Mianonka sorted out within the Adama Barrow Anala Masakunda. But Sulanding Kunjaro Kabe continue the situation on your monitor. If Adama Barrow Masakunda are capable or are absolutely, can protect Jammeh through his executive power by giving him or to grant him with amnesty protections. But according to the information for some part of the the NATO alliance, all the communication on yende, stop la follow the any Adama Barrow Masakunda tema because yajeleko ikene nene. Remember on 2021 election among. So nyanga mo information on the message. Last but not the least, the Auditor General. Sulanding Kunjaro a very tangible information also pertaining to Auditor General Modu Sise, Katandeko Adama Barrow la Masakunda are determined at the best of their ability. Kajeko. That man is a harm no nyamen at all cost. So Sulanding Kunjaro Yamaro Nyindiko, ala family members and ala close associates, Satan Dalako, Auditor General, the former Auditor General Mod, and he's still Auditor General rather, Modu Sisedal, as a as I make sure that the final audit report on men babulu, Anyanta make sure that I reveal now before the presidential campaign in start, because Anambra Masakunda I feel a threatening call. Let me make it clear. This information is from Auditor General. Anambra Masakunda ebe Auditor General la modu sisel eba target can at the best of their ability sa eliminate none at any time. The reason behind it, Moses won the election and he's still legally the Gambia Auditor General. Arambaro la manza kunda la fita jola wala ka continue ka jo ye plano menke wala nyende ka Moses ka nene katla continue la ka jo fojanne wat mena la contract ko be ban in 2036, something like as Auditor General in the Gambia. Moses doesn't want to continue with Adama Barola Masakunda by every month receiving salary. He need a bunch of money. Kubiri ala contract when you terminate another service or jola. So this is the pushing and pulling. Option me anaka dunta Moses ni Adama Barola Masakunda ni tema. But Adama Barola Masakunda sa ebe silari monela. The audit report, the details of the audit report, me alanko some very terrible report me alanko about Anambra Masakunda. Abe modu sise bulu. Ibe silari na fu modu sise na atara Masakunda man ala joni ndiala kaya dimana laftala nyame because he doesn't want to work with the government or like a see for another 2036. For Anambra Masakunda bina fatina wala fobe kontinela. So, new model contract on most likely new government in nada is a model is some obstacles to know there. So, Anambra Masakunda Lafaka eliminate at the best of their ability Katandiko, because most likely as a audit report of member many Anambra in Kunukuma Balmen Bala Sun Kanyolo. Tinyaro menke ka bankola na fulota ka batara din talantala nyotema obe kujama bale tinyala before the presidential election ne ori vilta to mona wala mol balon na ko membe kire Adambaro la Masakunda bulu wallahi menke so odari lat na modu sise abe dawda ala mol sa protect because Adambaro la Masakunda ya demand pro wori portal men babulu as a delete ala system or even iba offer another million. But look, how can you a bird in the hand is worse than the one in the bush. Ibe maningole ka vole ibe keron sanola ton kono nyaadile. Modi sisela julobe Masakunda nyanta miana ko millions of dollars is nyanta jola wala, but they are still trying to offer him a millions extra. Put your audit report on member look our tamper system when you're gonna be did it cannot publish before the presidential election. So Modus is it. Gambia no recall. Gambia taxpayer soul many alanko. Modus is this is a warning to Modus is another family, another close associate, and more many alanko associated. Modus is Gambian taxpayer soul. Wale la kodota kita kijo wala as Auditor General kajako ila taxpayer so la bruto nta dawda Masakunda buloko na servant me yana ko ngi tombonne ko lodne pour na kodunda da me ya do ko ndiya mulni na banko dingol kam niwle batar yake ya talantala nyote me report me yana ko ya fentini nanyi Masakunda is now offering you a millions. Masakunda me yana ko nyandite jola ye bare deliberately because he malla he reported a fintin in Mealongo. Adam Barrow, the office of the president, are hitless so badly, and there are some corrupted ministers, including the IEC, Mealongo, million only dunte the Maltema. Wale Adam Barrow Masakunda de Minare by deliberately. It can I offer the offer to retain or to not to publish the audit report member could only tax Kajako Ela report in Fintin Yadila. Ela life is in danger. Number one, Nima Bondi. Anambra Masakunda is a cookie on the Miananko, is eliminated at the best of their ability. Walea Bondi Banco de only protect because of Banco de only Kejo or no Banco de only Bini Jola Kodak. Report on infinity before 2026 presidential election. This is the information Sulanding Kunjaro and Mendina. Kwananga Tani Banco de Ngola. I'll son Talemaso. I'll see benefits Sulanding Kunjaro. Mome man follow la kamata ko wasinga. So meda na lejane do. Tinga ina sodali. Sulanding Kunjaro ngata murmuro la TikTok do wonne. Ngaji we monemu. Mado. Agora Sulanding Kunjaro fe no fa nyina ina. Oops. Are ntenyin la fala de. Albari la drum. Baranga name so nyam protect. Ale ojibe. Nyimberi la kajele ba kari le ba. Aclara le ba. Iko Barrow promise a prominent opposition political party with $100 million almost $100 million and a vice president position if joined or endorsed MPP, in 2026 presidential election being published later. And that later because Sulanding Kunjaro man bias. Sulanding Kunjaro nanete bias la. And then just shake la. To anyala be sabati la. Be sirina dimbala nyati ngone fele benjere la mbedi amala na public. Ba publish la kunga fanyame. The same mon lebina si la jam. Ila YouTube boldo kanjibe. So ngala nuka anything for jam. Ndimon ka jibe. So nyena mo Sulanding Kunjaro la kibaro de. Ngaya manna moje, Ewana moja Sulanding Kunjaro. Inade benefit le. Inade benefit na information la. Call me Sulanding Kunjaro. After the alete benefit as now. Also no gonna have and market in for it. So me dana legend until then. Sainge kalavanti ni kisit kasala monat. Marangala la TikTok alto. Altali ngali benefit. Ali benefit na information. Ala baraka baket jiber la many jibero kesa. Ngamu jama balaje palantero the other side nyeng. Ali benefit ala fara pareta so I'll send you strategy for your future benefits. Until then, Sulanding Kunjaro.